Sure.
Okay.
All right, welcome back, guys. Who do we got here? U4X versus Riot Gaming. So two favorites. U4X coming from a win against Mutiny in round number one, and Riot was waiting for their match. So also the winner of this matchup will be another team that qualifies. So going into banner protects, Landon. Do you see anything interesting so far?
I mean, the M8A7 protect from Miss Kamikaze, obviously a good weapon of choice. We saw that M8 be banned last map, however, obviously going to be protected. Also seeing High Caliber, the Vesper, Rapid Fire, not anything too out of the ordinary. And from O Emily, she's going to go ahead and ban that Flashbang as well. Obviously, very useful Flashbangs, kind of considered to some pros, as just in general as the most annoying thing to play against. Concussions are one thing, EMPs are another, but when it comes to flashes, I mean, your screen completely goes white for a solid like 5 or 6 seconds. So those flashes obviously not going to be in effect as well, and that flak jacket going to be even more, kind of not as useful, but definitely still going to come into effect when we see concussions and EMPs and such.
So it was good for Chloe to ban the high caliber. So that'll definitely take off some firepower from these ARs, which high caliber can be pretty nasty when you get a one burst headshot there on, especially on this first hill. So we're definitely going to see some M8 action happen on the first hill, like we did say before, sort of a more AR oriented game and map as well. Going into specialist overdrives, we see a Tempest from Kamikaze and overdrives and Scythe from Chloe and Sparks.
Indeed, those overdrives definitely going to be in use when you have to make those rotations. Is Chloe obviously kind of being ineffective? Then also going to see Sparks grabbing that Reaper Scythe. Honestly, when you see a player grab the Reaper Scythe, much as Emily has also for Riot, it's very important to make sure that those players are usually your AR players because playing pretty solid. I mean, you're sitting in barn, you're going to be sitting, up top grandmas at times, kind of hanging in the back. Those Reaper Scythes play perfectly to your play style. We're also going to see Bulldog and Sammy grab that Purifier. Not really going to a lot of the time you're not really going to see the Purifier and Scythe be kind of put together on one roster, but obviously we're going to see how it works out for the U4X squad as we get into our final couple specialist drafts here, and going to be very interesting to say the least here, Jen.
Yeah, I think those gravity spikes in Purifier will definitely be interesting, maybe in the Grandma's hill especially. So I think it's the smallest. Maybe the Purifier on the tracks as well. Maybe the Purifier on, I think Purifier could probably play on most of these hills. Sort of not my favorite because I think the Scythe is a little bit more preferred. Or maybe the Annihilator, I think, as long as you know how to use the Annihilator. I know I have a pretty hard time with the Annihilator. It's sort of hard to use at times. Now, players will get to edit their classes, but anything else that we should talk about?
And we can just talk about how important. I mean, like I said, it's a best of three. This is a qualification match. So the winner of this game obviously will be, able to qualify. Just in general, not the specific game, with the series in general. But this is just a very important map. We saw a dominating performance out of UX and Sway. That first game going 250 to 9. I said that correctly, 250 to 9 in favor of Sway. Have to keep in mind the hosting. Being across the country really in general, and just the world, and to kind of put in perspective, is obviously going to pay into effect. And a 17-1 over on Breach. So I'm hoping to see at least a closer game. I mean, if you get to at least 30 points, I'll be more excited. But either way, going to be a very good game between U4X and Riot. I'm feeling, and obviously going to be starting off on Fringe Hardpoint, much like that last series. Going to be playing the same maps. Fringe Hardpoint, Breach Uplink, and if it comes down to it, Search and Destroy, I believe, over on Infection.
And but both these teams being European, I'm pretty sure they've played each other before. And I think Bulldog Sammy, if she's on Bulldog, I think Riot and Bulldog have scrimmed a lot against each other. And U4X, Sparks and Chloe, I think I followed a bunch on Twitter. I've seen their scrims, and they're a really strong squad on the European side. But Riot is definitely a fan favorite. But I don't know. Make sure you guys talk in the chat about any predictions you might have. If you guys know these squads a lot better than we do, I've watched Riot play a lot more, and they're pretty dominant. But I haven't watched U4X as much. But I heard they're very dominant as well. So score streaks to use on this map, probably. What would you think, Landon?
I mean, your Hailstorms, your HCXD cars, your Lightning Strikes, even the Dart. I mean, we've seen a couple players, flying around with the Dart can definitely be useful as well. And obviously, those Sentry guns coming into use, and maybe even the Wallies or the Cerberuses. I don't think anyone's ever figured out how to say the word Cerberus correctly, but I'm just going to call them Wally. I mean, those things absolutely dominant. Like a fifth man on the map, or in this case, a fifth woman on the map to kind of, go around and destroy things. But, a lot of different score streaks to be in use, but obviously those UAVs, counter UAVs, not going to be effect since we are playing under the Call of Duty World League rules. However, looking to be a good match as we hop into game number one, going to be Fringe here on Hardpoint between U4X and Riot Gaming.
So we're seeing U4X sort of start on a little bit more preferable side, as both sides do have interesting head glitches that you could take advantage of, but U4X definitely having the grandma side to have especially White Truck and that area a little bit easier to work with. Seeing a lot of M8s, I think I see two VMPs and two M8s from the U4X squad, and I'm thinking a lot of M8s also on the Riot squad, but both squads are going to try and get some kills down. Also, U4X going for their flanks through the track side.
The Iron Kimmy Rat going to be going through here toward Brick's, going to pick off a kill at the first side, going to throw those EMPs out to kind of make control, but, you know, on this first hard point, it's really all scrap time. I mean, honestly, you're going to get a couple seconds here and there. We obviously saw in that first matchup between UX, they got hardly any time at all. That was just due to how, you know, good Slam performance they really were, but you're not going to see that exact thing, as I believe Sammy actually gets a team kill there as well. But either way, you know, this is a very scrap time hill. You're not going to see it's one team over the other grab so many seconds, but either way, Chloe is trying to grab some time right now. She's going to grab the last couple seconds here as we get ready to rotate.
I just saw, I think I saw Pink just punch someone to death, and Sammy responds also with a two-piece. A pretty dominant slaying from both squads. I think I see U4X with a little bit of a lead heading into the next hill being Junkyard. Still on board here with Sparks, using the M8, and trying to call out which side is are these Riot players spawning on.
Indeed they are, and I'm going to be on board with Riot Angel pushing through here toward Bricks, trying to get any kill she possibly can to maybe break this one, finds one, cannot drop the other, and a good start here from U4X. I believe Chloe also going to be using that overdrive as well, trying to make her way over. Going to spot one in the corner, cannot pick her off, and that's going to be an early lead right now for U4X Gaming. That lead is slowly diminishing. Got to keep in mind those rotations over to Grandma is going to be very, very important. Those entry frags as well, something to be watching out for. And Riot just trying to make their way over here slowly. Kimmy trying to drop one, able to grab that. As we get ready to see her rotate this is a big gunfight going down. She is going to lose that one. However, the U4X squad trying to make their way over to grab these early seconds.
This has been a back and forth match. I'm on board here with Sparks being the anchor, and she actually does get taken out by Riot Angel. So huge kills there, as now Riot are going to have the crucial anchor spots for this Grandma Hill. And Riot Angel is going to try and contest the hill. Unfortunately, I think someone activated a heat wave, and she was taken out. And now I think it is U4X that are in the hill.
Indeed, Sammy's had a lot of uncontested time, and they're slowly trying to make this comeback that Riot has kind of built up to this point. And Sammy just going to kind of wait, and this is a perfect opportunity for them. They're literally slaying out perfectly right now for Riot, just trying to hold them off for as long as they can. Sammy going to get two basically full, and that hill, like I said, the hill's going to get too full. She's going to be taken out. Sparks as well, trying to maybe hold down through middle. And U4X here, once again, remaining in control. Actually, they actually lose the control. That's going to be in the hands of Riot right now, trying to hold this one down. Watching the spawns is Kimmy. And they're going to be making this a little bit of a comeback here with about a 20-point lead. We are getting ready to head over to tracks for that next hill.
And Riot have a little bit more preferable spawns, still spawning on that Grandma side, but Hill is slowly changing over to the track side, and now we're going to see these M8s come into action as the long-range battles are beginning. Kills are going in favor of the Riot squad as they're trying to contest into Hill, some subs and some M8s, but it's looking like the lead is going towards Riot as they take a 30-point advantage.
They do indeed. Kimmy on board with Kamikaze, trying to get through those gravity spikes coming into effect. But Riot actually, Kimmy actually takes out her own teammate Emily, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Those rotations going to have to come in very key. However, it looks like Riot holding this down pretty well. Going to be on board with Kamikaze right now. She does have her Tempest as well. Actually, I think we actually saw the Tempest be banned last game, so that's pretty interesting. Definitely going to be using that and affect that Purifier through tool. Going to be so deadly as she takes her down, and now U4X with one member trying to hold this one down, as well as Riot Angel are going to drop, and now that's going to be in control of U4X. Constantly contested hills, and honestly, a lot of people will say, you know, this train hill isn't as important as Grandma's. Honestly, I think it really is. If you're able to make that team spawn out through back alley, whenever you're inside a train, you can absolutely grab a whole lot of seconds.
That was unfortunate, Angel sticking her teammate with the nade. I was actually about to compliment Angel as she did a really great job on the track hill, holding all the time. She had an HC car, and I think she was using her specialist as well, so good job by her. Now going over into the next hill, back into the middle. I'll be on board here with Kamikaze, picks one player and is able to call out the players from U4X spawning back there, as we did see a pretty bad spawn trap by Sway in our last game, if you're able to call out which spawns are which. But still on board here, Kamikaze picks up one and is able to call out the players in Barn, but Riot picking up some more time here as it's about a 70-point lead.
Yeah, indeed, on board with Sparks, and she's going to be up top. Barn trying to drop one, able to take out Angel. And she's going to be in this AR position for a little bit of time as we get ready to see those rotations come into Scrapyard. I mean, she definitely held this one down pretty well. You know, U4X down, but they're not out exactly. You know, this is definitely a lot more of a close game than that last one. But on board with Spark, she's getting ready to have to hop out of this this barn in just a few seconds, and looks like Emily going to go and let her do that instead. And now that rotation obviously going to be coming in. Those early kills going to pay very, very big dividend. And now U4X able to take out that heat wave as well. Going to be very, very big for them as they try to make as much of a comeback as possible.
On board here with Sparks, has her scythe and an HC car ready, and unfortunately does get contested there as Riot are just keep flooding into the hill and just adding more points to their score. U4X not letting down at all, as Riot are just trying to call out where they're spawning. Still on board here with Kimmy, has a 2-kill streak, and she does get taken out by Sparks, and Pink also uses the gravity spikes to take out Kamikaze.
They do as well in a good ending contest here out of Riot. However, they're going to be shut down a little bit. And U4X getting ready to get on those rotations. Going to be on board with Pink as she's trying to find a kill. She's going to be shut down there. Nice kill there out of Sammy. However, on board with Angel at the start right now. She's going to be looking through middle, trying to watch those rotations that are getting ready to come in. She's going to drop one maybe. One player still in middle. They're just going to try to hold this one off. U4X getting ready to come in for the contest, but it's not going to happen. We're currently inside of Grandma's, looking for a player who's actually inside of that hill right now. Sammy making her way through. Kimmy Riot is actually going to be the person inside of the hard point right now. And looking at the overall time for Riot, I mean, you look at the whole team, almost every single person besides Riot Angel has about a minute in the hill, and that's exactly what you want. Is Riot is absolutely going off right now. Also going to have those gravity spikes, which I'm sure any second we'll see coming in use.
Kimmy is just an absolute beast. She took out 2 in the hill. She has the gravity spikes ready, just switches to the M8 and is able to pick these players off the mid-map and able to call out where they're spawning as well. And like you said, great hill time by the players from Riot, as most of them pretty much have a minute or over. And on the players from U4X, great job by Chloe to have 40 seconds, and Sparks only has 3 seconds, needs to get a little bit more hill time, but Sparks also has a scythe ready if she'd like to do some slaying work around the hill instead.
You actually saw Angel try to push out through, I believe that was Trax just a second ago. She used her heat wave, and those entry kills are so important, obviously, in Black Ops 3 compared to other hardpoint titles. I mean, the rotations come in absolutely key when it comes to this title as well. You know, being able to rotate around 15 to 20 seconds definitely going to be key. We're actually going to see Kimmy use those gravity spikes very well. She's going to clear out the entire hill and give her team that much more of an advantage. Only 30 points more needed for Riot to close out this first game in Riot. And it's going to be Kimmy trying to do that for her squad. Sparks as well is going to have that sight in the back, could definitely pay dues as she's going to be looking through these long lines of sight. And those players for Riot just need to hang back, maybe kind of hold on for as long as they can as they're getting closer and closer to closing this one out.
Unfortunately, the HTXD was not able to pick up any players there as there was Black Jacket being used. U4X taking control of this hard point, as I thought Riot had a pretty good setup at the beginning, but U4X not letting down at all. Only 20 seconds left for Riot to close out this game, but it is just constantly being contested as Chloe just cleans up 2 players there from Riot.
Absolutely, that's exactly what U4X needs right now. I mean, they're down, but they're not exactly out as of yet, to kind of put it in regular terms. But Kimmy going to be pushing out through here, trying to find some early kills. She's going to drop one outside of Barn, as they're going to try to form a little bit of a pinch, and it works out perfectly. 2 players through middle, 2 players through trains, and that's going to give Riot 10 more points. If they're going to try to close this one out. U4X trying to contest any seconds that they possibly can, and they're going to force their way through, but how long will it last? Players coming off of spawn. That Purifier also going to be in use for Sammy, but she's going to drop, takes one with her, and now Angel pushing through also going to be taken out. So U4X not going out without a fight, but these entry kills are so big as Riot gets closer and closer to knocking this one down.
U4X doing a great job of flooding into the hill. Unfortunately, that Purifier not being couldn't have been more useful to Sammy earlier as she was taken out. And just watching Sammy just make up for that with a huge 2-piece on the hill, and Chloe and Sparks getting kills of their own. 4 down for Riot as they need to flood back into the hill, but only 2 seconds left. All they really have to do is just team push or just rotate for the next hard point or wait for the 2 extra seconds there.
Yeah, that's going to do it there. Good job there out of Kimmy, especially dominating for her team of Riot, as they're going to take this first game 250 to 107. U4X, you know, in their call right now, they're going to have to get their minds back into this game. Normally, I mean, compared to last game, I mean, this was a lot better, but just in general, this is not at all a close game. You know, Riot started off a little bit shaky. You know, U4X had some good moments, and they did not let them get to that 240, mark easily, to say the least. So, you know, either way, U4X losing this game can have to bring it back when it comes to Breach Uplink, but it is Riot who are the victors for this first game, as they're going to go up 1-0.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it was pretty tight at the beginning. The first rotation of hills, you saw them pretty much go back and forth. But as soon as Riot got their setup clear, I think around Grandma's is really when they started
Yep.
taking off on Grandma's and Trax Hill. They got pretty much 30 points or more on those hills, which really just extended their lead. And U4X flooding into those hills, they contested it, but they couldn't just stop Riot from coming in. And pretty good stats by everybody. Wasn't able to see those stats to talk about it. But I guess we'll go to a quick intermission before we go into map number 2. I think it's going to be Breach Uplink once again, so stay tuned.